Hi everyone, Chef Ron Locke here. Now we are just about ready to start this week's episode of the Chef Ron Locke Show, but before we do that, I want to let you know that we have a special guest coming on today that's brand new. His name is Harley Davidston, or he's known otherwise as Smokey. Now Smokey is going to go ahead and introduce today's recipe for us and also the ingredients that'll be going into that. Now Smokey's a biker, so I'm sure he's going to add a little interesting flair to this whole segment. After he's done, I'll go ahead and show you how to put it all together, and at the very end we'll do a nice presentation that I hope you'll enjoy. We're also got a mailbag segment for you and some other goodies, so I hope to leave you today with the 3 E's that I always like to do on every episode. That's leaving you with a little entertainment, a little bit of education, and a little bit of enlightenment as well. So, without any further ado, I'm going to start heating up the kitchen, and let's get started with the Chef Ron Locke Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Harley Davidston, Smokey.
Hi everyone. My name Thank you. My name is Harley Davidston. Now don't get that confused with the motorcycle. That's Harley Davidston, not Harley Davidson like the bike. Okay? They don't matter anyway because they don't call me that anyway. I don't even go by that. Ever since I was a little boy, they called me Smokey. So I go by Smokey now, and that's my name, and that's how I'll be referred to from here on in. Alright, just wanted to get my name out there to everybody so you knew my formal name, but I don't ever go by that, I go by Smokey. Alright, so anyway, it's good to be here on the Chef Ron Locke Show. I'm here with my bro, Chef Ron, and they told me to say just a brief bit about myself to kick off things here. I come from a town called Crosby, North Dakota. I don't know if anybody is from there or not. Small town. I was in reform school for quite a while. I moved out, left my home, ran away. I went and joined a biker gang when I was 18. Got into some trouble. Got thrown in the slammer for a number of years. Won't go into that right now. But I got out and I met this lady who I referred to as my old lady, but you know, it's okay, and she's cool with that. She's cool with that, and it's not a derogatory thing in the least. But anyway, I met my old lady. She turned my life around. I mean, we got hitched, and I opened up a bike repair shop in Great Falls, Montana, and that's a nice little area if you've ever been up that way. It's really nice, really nice. I love the Northwest area. Like I say, I grew up from there, so I'm really comfortable with it. And then we just recently sold the bike shop and moved down here to Delray Beach, Florida. I'm not too keen yet about the warm weather, but I do like being able to ride my bike 365 days a year when it ain't raining. And But my old lady and I, that's pretty much all we do now. We're kind of semi-retired, do a little bit of hobbying and crafting along the side. I do some leather work. She does some needlepoint and some other things. And we do trade shows and fairs, and we have a thing on the internet, all that good stuff. But at any rate, alright, so we do basically a lot of rides, we do a lot of bike rallies, we do a lot of charity events and things like that. So I guess you could say I'm probably a bad biker gone good. I love the biker life. That's my life till I die. That's who I'll always be. But I believe you can do a lot better good in life than you can bad. And I kind of learned the error of my ways through my old lady. So anyway, that's a little bit about me. Now My bros and sisters are asking me, what am I doing here on the Chef Ron Locke Show? You don't like cooking. The only thing you like to do is eat. Well, that's true. That is true. I am not a friend of the kitchen. Let me tell you that right now. But I do owe Chef Ron a big favor. Chef Ron and I have met quite a while ago. We met at a bike rally. He likes Harleys, I like Harleys. We like to ride, and that's basically how we met. He was doing a chili cook-off. I love the chili, and we just started talking there and had a couple beers and found out that we had a lot of same ideologies in life, even though we're a lot different in a lot of ways. You know, the one good thing is you always have that love for riding and bikes, and that's all you really need. The rest of it is pretty non-important. If you like bikes, you're alright with me. Anyway, so that's how Chef Ron and I got to know each other, and through the years we've become friends. And anyway, so I got in a little jam with some money, and he helped me out a little bit. So I'm here really more, I am here as a friend to help him out, but I'm here more to pay off a debt that I owe him. Kind of ashamed to say that, but that's the reason I'm here. So until my debt's paid off, you're going to have to put up with me here every so often on one of his shows. He wanted to have a different kind of character of people on his show, different walks of life and such. So he thought of his good buddy Smokey and thought I'd make a good, probably, you know, someone who hates cooking, someone who is not real fond of the kitchen, but somebody who can probably stand up here and show you that it's okay to do this, and it's okay to be here, and you know what, it's okay to get your hands involved in a little bit of cooking. I may learn something too, for all I know. So you know what, it's a win-win for everybody. But anyway, that's me, that's why I'm here, and that's it. So let's get in with the show here. Let's tell you what this episode's all about and what the ingredients are and all that good stuff, so I can get my butt out of here. Alright, well today we're going to be making for you a crock pot beer chicken. That's right, beer. Now, that's something I can relate to. I like a good beer or two. I'm not an alcoholic or anything like that, and I don't drink and ride, but I like a good beer or two when I want to kick back and watch some sports or whatever it is I want to watch. I love NASCAR. I like bikes. Alright, anyway, so that's it. That's what we're making for you. I'm going to come over here and show you what we're going to be putting into it. It don't look like much, and I hope he put some, yeah, it looks like he put some markers or something down here, because I don't know what the heck this stuff is. It all looks great to me. But we're going to go ahead and make an attempt here, alright? Alright, I do know what this first thing is, though. These are 3 pretty nice sized chickens. Apparently they're about 2 pounds each, and they look pretty good. Those are boneless, skinless chickens, and they look good. They look really good. They look nice and healthy there. All right. Next here we've got. Oh, this looks interesting. This is 1 tablespoon of oregano. 1 tablespoon of oregano right there. Now, you know, this looks like something I used to roll and smoke in my old days, in my bad biker days, I guess you'd say. I don't do drugs and stuff now. I don't need to do that. I live a clean life, but that kind of looks like the stuff I used to use. It don't smell like it, let me tell you, but it sure looks like it. Anyway, I sure hope it ain't what it is. I'm sure it's not. Anyway, that looks like 1 that looks like 1 tablespoon of oregano. All right, all right. What do I know? I don't know how to cook. All right. Anyway, what else we got here? It looks like we've got 1 teaspoon of black pepper and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. All right. And then I guess we got here also a teaspoon of garlic powder. I always thought garlic powder was supposed to keep the vampires away or the ghost away or something like that. But I guess if you eat enough of that, you probably do that too. I don't know. Like I said, what do I know anyway? I just like to ride bikes. I like to eat. And I'll tell you what, all this looks good. Oh, and we got my favorite ingredient. We got here, we've got, I shouldn't be doing that. We got 1 bottle of beer. Now, this looks good. I hope they don't mind. I think I'm going to actually take a little bit of this right here. Jeez, what'd y'all do? Good Lord, y'all, would you glue this thing on or what? Jeez. You all probably afraid I was going to drink that here on the show. Well, anyway, you're lucky I can't get that off without a bottle opener. I'm not going to try to waste your time doing that right now. But anyway, so we got a bottle of just regular beer there as well, your brand, whatever you like, light or dark. Alright? Now that's it. That's all you've got here in these ingredients, and that's pretty much what we're going to do. Now when I leave here, Chef Ron's going to come back here in just a bit. He's going to put this all together for you in a crock pot, and then he's going to show you how it all turned out at the end of the show, and that's how it's going to go down. Alright, so, alright, well that's it. I'm going to get out of here. So, alright, all my brothers and sisters out there, keep the shiny side up and the rubber side down, alright? And we'll see you again real soon. Y'all take care now. Goodbye.
On the next episode of the Chef Ron Lock Show.
Flying all over the place, people were screaming to high heaven. I was holding on to my husband Harry's hand going, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh my God. I thought I was going to die. I thought right there I was going to die. The plane was going down like this, and you're kind of, oh my Lord, if you didn't have your seatbelt on, you'd be probably falling into the next person's seat ahead of you. It was scary. It did stop though. It came around. And, okay, so let's get started and we'll work on the ingredients and get things heating up in here. I'm so excited I can't talk. Now obviously every time I talk about this, the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure our hands are clean and our environment, our kitchen environment's clean, because you certainly don't want to have any cross-contamination of germs. Now let's go ahead and we're going to roll our sleeves up just a bit here, and we're going to get down to work. We're going to start heating up this kitchen and keeping it short and simple, because that's what we do here. Well, hi everyone, Chef Ron here. How's everyone doing out there today? Come on, come on. Great. We're having a great day here on the Chef Ron Lock Show. And what did you guys think of Smokey, huh? How did you think for his first time how he did? We almost had to push him out. He was so nervous. He really was. And he's really never been in front of a camera before, so he's a little nervous. You could probably tell in his first outing here as the ingredient presenter. And but I think he did a great job, and I'm just really excited that he's here. I brought him on for two reasons. Number one, he kind of has to pay me back a little bit of a debt. I bailed him out of a situation not too long ago, so he has to kind of do a little karmatic payback for me on things, and so we kind of worked out an agreement that he'd come here and do the show for a few episodes. But secondly, the reason I really wanted to bring him out here too is I wanted to give a representation of the average guy out there. Now, any of you average guys that are watching, or any of you ladies out there who have husbands that are the average guy, I can tell you the last thing they want to do is to have anything to do with cooking or kitchen. Except if they're going to go and get something out of the refrigerator, right? Or they're good at dirtying things, right? But boy, I tell you what, don't ever ask them to clean or cook in there, because guess what? They're thinking, that's your job. That's a woman's job. Well, that's not necessarily true at all. Because guess what? First of all, we all love and have to eat, right? So here's my thing. Wouldn't you rather want to know what's going in your food? I mean, you know, a lot of these people go to these fast food restaurants and other restaurants, and you're getting stuff, and they've got all these preservatives and additives and all these other things that you just don't know if they're going to be healthy for you or not, and you don't even know what kind of cleanliness is going on in some of these places. I won't even tell you some of the kitchens I've been in and some of the things I've seen. I rarely go out to eat anymore, and when I do, I'm real careful about when I do, because I pretty much know where I'm heading and what's to be expected. So it's so much better if you can just grab a few recipes that you like, and we can keep them short and simple like we're trying to do here on this show for you guys, and make it economical too, and get in there and make your own stuff, and at least you know what's going in to those food items. instead of preservatives and additives that you just don't know what you're getting when you're getting from one of these fast food restaurants or a regular restaurant. So anyway, so that's what this is all about. This is all about the average guy that just doesn't want to have anything to do with cooking. I want to kind of show y'all how easy and simple it is to really make something for yourself or for your wife or for your loved ones, your girlfriend, if you're dating somebody or your significant other, whatever. Making it easy for you to get in there and show them how to do it. And I'm going to show you a simple recipe today. It's going to be our crock pot episode, and we're making crock pot beer chicken, as Smokey told you a little earlier. Okay? This is so easy. We're using a few simple ingredients. We're throwing them into the crock pot, putting the top on, and setting it for a few hours. You can't ask for anything simpler than that. And I'm going to tell you what, at the end of this episode, if you don't see how good this turns out, and if you don't try this, well, you're missing out on something really good, let me tell you. So I'm trying to do you all a big favor here and showing you how great and simple this really is. So let's get started, all right? All right. So first thing you want to do, wash your hands. Make sure that your environment's nice and clean. We're using chicken today, so that's really important that we keep a clean environment and that we also keep our hands nice and clean, because I'm going to be picking up the chicken and putting it in the crock pot here in just a bit. So let me go ahead and wash my hands just to make sure here that we're all set. Nice quick, I did just off camera, but you know, sometimes you don't know if you're brushing up against something that might be dirty, so it's always best just to do it right before you get involved with handling food. Alright? You can use the gloves if you want and different things like that, but I actually am one of those purists or those earthy people that just like to get my hands in everything and just feel it while I'm experiencing it. So anyway, alright, so let's go ahead and start right now. Now, what we have is, first of all, you want to have 2 pounds of skinless, boneless chicken. Now, I wash and pat dry my chicken first before I use it. Now, there's a controversy with that because some people like that and some people don't. I've heard both sides of the story. I came from the old school, the Julia Child school, where you wash your chicken before you use it. Now, there's people out there that say, no, that's bad, you're washing bad bacteria off and you're going to get stuff all over the place. Well, you're supposed to wash your environment down anyway after you're done setting all your stuff up. Secondly, you know, you don't know how long that chicken's been sitting around and how many days and weeks that could be floating around. So any other bacteria on there that I don't feel comfortable with, I like to just take off. That's my point of view. You can agree to disagree on that, and that's fine, all right? So anyway, enough about washing chicken. Well, we got to get 2 pounds of chicken. Now, that equates to about 3 to 4 chicken breasts, all right? And it just depends on the size. Now, I've got 3 good-sized chicken breasts that we're going to be putting in this pot right now. And let me introduce those. We've got chicken 1, 2, and 3 right here. Chicken breast 1, 2, and 3. All you do is just go ahead and take these and just set these in. Okay. And that's pretty much it. That's all you're really going to do. You just get your 3 chicken breasts in just like that, nice and easy. Alright, washing my hands again because I don't want to cross-contaminate on the rest of the kitchen area here. Again, always good to make sure that they keep nice and clean. When you're handling any sort of poultry, meats, anything like that, always good. Just keep them clean. Alright, now let's go ahead and roll up our sleeves here because we're going to get down and dirty in some of this other goodness that we have here. And you're going to see just how simple this really all is in the end here. The nice thing about this is that you can go ahead and get all your ingredients prepared the night before, and then in the morning before you leave for work, if you get yourself up about 15 minutes earlier, you can go ahead and just assemble all this into the crock pot, turn it on, and you can leave. You're all set to go. Alright, it's as simple as that. Or if you're running errands for the day, say you want to get this set up at lunchtime or something like that, and you want to use the high setting on this, and we'll talk about the different settings in a moment, but you want to go ahead and set that on a high, and say at lunch you want to head out and do an afternoon's worth of shopping, you come back 4 or 5 hours later and you're all set to go. It's a great meal. Alright, so we've got our chicken in here. Now let's go ahead and add in our other ingredients. We've got here, first of all, let's go ahead and add in our beer. We're going to go ahead and add in our beer. Now you want to have, you can just get any sort of beer. You can use dark, light, whatever you want to use. I just use a basic domestic beer for this. I've used dark beers too, and it comes out fine. You get a little bit of a different taste, but I prefer just a light domestic beer. Works really well with this. So all you're going to do is just go ahead and pour that in. Just like that. You see how we're doing that? Alright, and that's pretty much it. That's all you do. You add in your bottle or your can of beer, and that's your liquid. That is going to make your chicken so tender, and it's going to give it a nice, subtle taste too. And no, you're not going to get drunk on this. All the alcohol cooks out, so don't worry about that at all. If you're thinking that you're going to use the liquid to libate or have a little cocktail afterwards, that's not going to happen, because it'll cook out. It'll be fine. And you wouldn't want to drink this anyway after it's all done. So, alright, so next up we have here 1 tablespoon of oregano. Let's go ahead and add that in. So we're just sprinkling this all inside here and trying to get it as much on top of the chicken as you possibly can. Alright, next we have our garlic powder. And we're going to go ahead and add that in right now. Just making sure that we get all that garlic powder right on top of our chicken, just like we did with the oregano. Okay. Lastly, we have our salt and pepper mixture here. We're just going to go ahead and do the same thing with that. Okay, and just make sure you get your salt and pepper, like you did your other ingredients, all nicely and evenly distributed on top of your chicken. That's it. All we do now is we just go ahead and take our lid here. We're going to set that on top just like that. All the ingredients are in there and we're all set to go. Now you can do this in 2 different ways. You can set this on low or high depending on how long you're going to be gone and or how fast you want to eat. Both ways comes out about the same. It's not going to make a big of a difference. I like to do it on low just because I always have this thought of the slower the heat, the better moisture the meat holds in with all the different steaming and ingredients in there. But if you don't have enough time or you want to eat a little faster, you can do it on high too. So the settings for this recipe will be for high 4 to 5 hours, for low 6 to 8 hours. And I would take a medium time probably in there to check and just see if it was done. So for high I'd say 4.5 hours. For low, yeah, for high, I'm getting confused here. For high, too high, low, you're too many. For high, check 4.5 hours into it, and for low, check about 7 hours into it. I usually go 7 hours for me. That gives me enough time to do all my errands and all the things I need to do and come back and start it in the morning, and by 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it's all set to go. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to set this right now on low. Easy as that. Alright, so we're going to take a little break here. We've been working our fingers to the bone here on this recipe, getting it all ready for you. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to do a little mail call for you here, a little mailbag here. And we have a listener out there who's just dying to ask one of our characters, or one of our special guest hosts, a question. And every week we go ahead and do a little mailbag here for you. So let's see who we have and who is this week's mailbag person of the week.
Mailbag.
On this edition of Mailbag, this question is for yours truly, Chef Ron Locke. And this question comes from Kevin P. in Alameda, California. Now, Kevin wants to know, what was it that got me interested into the culinary field? Well, that's a great question, Kevin. And to answer that, we have to take you all the way back to when I was age 5. Because I remember coming home from school one day, and I remember getting up close to the kitchen back door where we would come in and out of, and smelling the smell of peanut butter. And I remember walking in and I remember seeing my mom at the kitchen table. She was rolling out dough and she was mixing stuff up and she was getting the peanut butter batter ready. And I remember that I just was really intrigued by the whole thing. And I remember starting to ask questions. And I remember one thing in particular. I remember when she took the fork and was pushing down on the peanut butter balls and pressing that in to make the fork lines and the peanut butter cookies, and I remember asking her why she was doing that. So she saw that I was taking an interest in the culinary world, and so what she did is she basically tutelaged me a little bit. She taught me the basics of baking and cooking growing up, and that's how I basically got started into the culinary field. After I grew up and got out of the house in my 20s, I took a part-time position with a friend's catering business and worked with him for that little while on that. I did staging in a friend's family's Italian restaurant for a couple of years, and then I moved to Florida and worked again for somebody's catering business, a friend of mine's, and then I eventually started my own catering business in 1993, which I've had for over 20 years now. So that's kind of my culinary world in a nutshell. I also have a culinary arts degree, which I got in 2006. And so there you go. I hope that answers your question, Kevin. If you'd like to ask a question of myself or one of the cast, feel free to email us at crl@chefronlock.com. In the subject heading, just put mailbag and simply ask your question, and maybe, if you're lucky, we'll go ahead and pull your question and answer it for you here on this future segment of Mailbag. So, thank you again, and on with the Chef Ron Lock Show. Through the power of television, the magic of television, that is our finished crock pot beer chicken. Don't that look good? Let's take a look at that again. I want you to take a look at the herbs on top of the chicken itself, how they held in really nicely. It's nicely coated all the way through each of the 3 chicken breasts. They're bathing in that beer broth there, that beer, those drippings from the beer and the chicken. It is just wonderful. This kitchen smells fantastic. Let me tell you, there is nothing wrong with crock pot cooking. Let me tell you. You know what? I will bet you, people like Paula Deen and Rachel Ray and a lot of the other food channel and cable chefs out there won't tell you this, but I bet you they do some crock potting themselves. So let me tell you, it's all good. You can be a cook, you can be a chef. It all boils down to a great meal at the end. And let me tell you what, this is so easy. We're keeping it short and simple. We're giving you something that's easy on the wallet, and something that you guys out there, and I know there's some out there, like I said early in the show, there are some of you guys out there that probably just are afraid of getting in the kitchen and saying that you can't cook or anything. Well, I think we've proven here today that if you got a crock pot, you can do some pretty amazing things with that. And it frees your whole day up to go fishing or doing whatever you want to do and come back and have a great meal for yourself or for any significant other or family member or anybody in your life that you may want to share that with. Alright, so just giving you all some tips out there and some help as well. Alright, so I've been yakking here. I think we want to start eating here. How about that? See, I'm so excited I can't even talk. Alright, so I've got my presentation plate ready here. This is one of our chicken breasts. You can see just this great coating that we have with the oregano and the garlic and the salt and pepper that are just looking wonderful on top of this. This is going to taste great. I can tell you, I've had this many times. Now, you probably don't even need a knife with this, but you get yourself a knife just to make sure. But I will guarantee you my fork will probably just cut through that just fine. A couple other things I'll tell you before we get into this real quick. Now, you can see I've got this presentation plate of the chicken breast just on the plate itself. Now, you can serve this over a bed of rice, over some pasta. You can go ahead and actually cut this up or dice it or shred it and use it in a pasta or a rice recipe, and so create your own recipes. You can use this as a starter and continue to go with that. Personally, for me, I love it just the way it is like this. I'll get some maybe some peas, some asparagus, some corn on the side, maybe some mashed potatoes, maybe some cornbread, and little light dessert at the end. I'm telling you what, this is a great meal as well. If you're looking to cut back on calories, there's not a lot of calories in this particular breast right here, let me tell you. And so you've just got a great meal altogether. So again, I'm whacking way too much. Let's go ahead and dig into this and see how this came out. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to use a knife and fork. Probably don't even need to use the knife, but let's go ahead and see here. All right, cutting in. Yeah, I mean, look at that. You know, forget the knife, huh? All right. So set that over there. Get my napkin just in case I might spill some here. Let's give this a try. Two words come to mind right now. Moist and juicy. The great thing with crock pot cooking or slow cooking is that you really lock the flavors in because of the slow heat involved in cooking this. I know we live in a world where everything is instant gratification. We want everything right now, as fast as we can. We're hungry, we just got home from work or shopping or whatever, and we need to eat, right? Well, I'll tell you what. For something like this, if you plan it the right way, like I said earlier, get up a little early in the morning, get this started, and then take off for your afternoon or your day, depending on how long you want to cook this. And let me tell you what, you have got a fantastic meal waiting for you when you get home. And I will guarantee when you walk through that door, if you aren't already hungry, well, you will be. Trust me, the smells are just amazing. So that's it. That is our crock pot beer chicken, and that concludes. I'm still savoring these flavors. I love it. That concludes this episode of the Chef Ron Lock Show. So, from Chef Ron Lock to all of you out there, let's start heating up that kitchen and let's start making some meals, all right? And we'll see you next time.